friends, welcome back to another episode of Immigrant Corner, where we are going to talk about the new policy that the former vice president is trying to pass.
Compassionate policies.
The compassionate policy, the socialist policy, I should say. He is trying to up the capital gain from 24% to 43% and some change. That is wow. That is just wow. And you know what that means to you? If you, well, let me do it
for all the fat cats and
let me do a short rant. We already have the highest tax brackets anywhere in the world except New Zealand. I think is it New Zealand or Austria? I can't. One of those small countries with the 48% tax bracket. Yeah, socialism in America is becoming a true idea for the lazy. Take money from the rich and give it to the poor. The poor is the ones that don't want to work. Realistically speaking.
My question is...
Hold on. Let me finish my rant. Listen. Everybody who has a brain larger than a peanut can work in this country and make good money. Okay? Unless you are disabled, you're missing an arm and a leg, which I have been proven wrong, that even if you are missing a limb, you could be a functional individual in this society and you could be a rich person. Now, former vice president has decided to basically punish the ones who can think in a certain way that will make him a good amount of money by creating an item, a product, a service, job, anything that's going to make him money. And he's like, well, you came up with a good idea. Now you're going to give me almost half of your shit. So if you make $1 million, if your capital gain is $1 million, guess how much you're gonna pay in taxes? $430,000.
But if you lose money, then you're on your own.
Exactly. You're not gonna get any of that money back.
It's they want to share the benefits with you, but they're not gonna. The only thing you can deduct is like $3,000. So it doesn't go. I mean,
this is part of his $1.8 trillion. What was it called? The build better bullshit. Some bullshit. Something.
It's pretty much just leeching
bullshit
from the rest of the country to big cities.
Exactly. Do you have any idea what's gonna happen if this thing passes? Anyone who invests to make money, do you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna stop investing. They don't want to deal with the capital gain anymore.
They just use loopholes. I mean, they just
no.
Or
it's
invest
not
in things
listen,
that are not easily detected.
How many people can use loopholes? You and I.
Anybody in any capacity can use loopholes.
Look, it's.
Let's say I give you this example. So you went on. I give you this example.
I'm about to turn red.
It's really interesting to me. For example, I've been following a lot of obviously precious metals and all that. A lot of big-time investors, besides government of China, besides big banks, right? While they're encouraging people to go and buy cryptocurrency, right, which is right now is over $2 trillion in market cap.
It's going to crash.
So they're going to come and just regulate it at some point. They already do, and they're going to have capital gains tax on that. They already have. Of course.
That already gets hit with capital gain.
The only thing you can't have that is precious metal, because precious metal is such a commodity that you don't need to go to certain places to exchange it. That's the beauty of it. I mean, you and I, we can sit over here. This is a 1 ounce of silver. This is a 1 ounce of gold. This is today's price. This is today's value. There you go. You exchange it.
Exactly.
You don't need no wallet, digital wallet, any kind of exchange place to go and actually convert it to a currency. To a cash.
I mean, eventually you're going to have to turn
deposit it.
Well,
you don't need that. You can directly exchange the precious metal for that reason.
In a way, yes.
Swiss bank, it's not just the Swiss banks. Under the mountain in Swiss, they had a documentary. For the first time, they showed it. They never showed it in history. It's like a super secretive. The wealthiest nations and the organizations stockpiling their gold under the mountain there. So think about it. You have to think about yourself. If all these biggest, wealthiest people and countries and buying and hoarding on precious metal, why they never encourage, you'd never have like a bank commercial telling you to go and buy gold and silver.
Well, you have commercials telling
They
you
have,
go.
they have commercials to go and
tell
buy
you buy-
cryptocurrency. No, they get
Yeah.
commercial.
Well,
Oh, this
they
is a Bitcoin credit card because they know eventually they're going to be able to monitor and control that and squeeze money the way that they have been doing with anything
Well,
else
the-
from that too. But they
the-
know they can't do it with gold and silver. That's why they don't have it.
So the thing is, look, with cryptocurrency.
So when you say how you can go get away from that loophole, that tax
No,
and stuff,
no, look.
if you invest your money in things that they are not easily detectable, let's say, or
No,
not
I
easily
understand
measurable,
that.
you know.
No, I understand that. As far as the precious metal goes, yes, I get it. Like you could buy a pound of gold and put it away, and that pound you bought it, let's say for $500. Now it's worth like $1 million. Yes, you could hide that. Then you don't have to pay capital gain on that. But when you go to trade that gold,
You don't trade it.
what are you gonna do with it?
No, I'm saying you don't trade it. You don't necessarily need to convert it to cash.
So how?
You don't necessarily
What's the use of it then?
you don't necessarily need to convert it to
What I'm
cash.
trying to tell you is, what is the use of that gold at this point? What are you going to do with it?
The use of it is whatever you want to exchange with. A lot of people in a lot of states, if you guys don't know, there are even actually bargain sites. You can go buy a car. Whatever. People, they trade between themselves in
You're gonna go
precious
barter.
metal. Precious metal.
You're gonna use a barter system to
I'm-
buy a house.
I'm saying if they're forced, they can do that without being detected.
Look,
That's all I'm saying.
listen.
You don't pay that.
I'm all for precious metal, and I think precious metal will play a big.
That's the only thing that they can make more of it.
No,
Like, it's
no,
finite
I
amount.
get it, but I think precious metal will come and play when there is like a apocalypse. When the
Not
entire system
necessarily, not
when the entire
necessarily.
system crashes.
I
Well,
disagree.
no. Hear me out. We're talking about capital gain.
It would be
We're not-
more important
no, no,
when
no.
there's a situation like
I'm,
that.
I'm
but
talking
even
about. I'm talking
normal
about.
situation
I'm,
is
I'm talking
always-
about specifically capital gain. I'm not talking about the use of gold and how valuable it is. Gold is valuable. Silver is valuable. A lot of precious metal are valuable. Diamonds are valuable, right? Question is, you have a bar of gold. Now you're going to go sell it for $1 million. Someone's going to give you. Do you think someone's going to give you $1 million in cash?
No, I'm saying at that point, whatever the value is.
No.
usually
It has value. That's the point. The point is, it has
So
value.
let's say you exchange it for whatever the cash is, right? Whatever the cash
Yeah.
amount is.
You're gonna
Right. The difference is if you're getting somebody some money cash. If the person, let's say you have an ounce of gold, usually we are not talking about big numbers because in big numbers, obviously, that situation is like
That's my point.
less
For
realistic.
small numbers,
But
yes. For like
in a more reasonable,
anything under like $20,000-$30,000,
you
yes.
get cash for it, and then you get cash for it. You don't
Yeah.
have to
No.
transact it in your bank
I
account.
no. I get it. For anything under like $20,000 or $30,000, you can easily get cash from the bank and do an exchange between gold and cash. Sure, and you don't have to disclose it. It's the same thing. It's same thing with cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency, it skips the bank. So people who are making money off of cryptocurrency, basically, some guy buys 50,000 Bitcoin. Somebody bought 50,000 Bitcoins, I don't know, like 10 years ago. Now, that individual is a millionaire. That cryptocurrency can be stored on a hard drive. And this guy is sitting on millions of dollars.
And until you don't cash it, you don't pay.
Until, he sells that and that money hits his account. Once that money hits the account, that's when everything falls apart. That's when he's going to get hit with crazy capital gain of 43%. Not to mention audits and this and that, okay? That's the point. That's what I'm talking about. It will ruin any economical rebound that this country could have at any time. It will ruin the country. It will put this country in more poverty because the person or individuals or the companies who want to get away with capital gain, you know what they're going to do? They're going to go to a different country. You're gonna make the money
If they can
somewhere
use the loopholes to do deductions
You
and
could
all that.
only use loopholes to a certain amount. I mean, like, there's only a certain amount of loopholes you could go through. You don't have enough gopher holes in the tax system to be able to deduct that much money. You know what I mean? And what's going to happen is a lot of companies, they're going to start showing losses. They're going to start showing, less gain, less profit gain. A lot of companies are going
That's
to.
why a lot of the investors, most of the time, people say, "Oh, why the person goes and just pay millions of dollars for rare diamond or artwork or something like that."
That's where the money goes.
Is because they can actually, that is a kind of subjective store of value, right? Yes, if you have cash, you go and just do that easily. But if, let's say, if I bought a piece of art for, let's say, $1,000 and it's subjective and I can sell that art for $10,000. However, when they do that,
it goes under the corporation name as a corporate expense.
Right. So they do that, and then somebody, they're not idiot. Somebody's spending $100 million on Picasso. It's just mostly because they have made those like a gentleman agreements to pay this much for this and that, and they're just moving the money without paying that capital gain tax and all that.
And
so they use loopholes.
They use loopholes, but who's going to hurt the most is the small-time investors.
I said the middle class.
Small-time
they have
investors.
enough money to have some sort of investment, but they don't have a lot of resources and
they don't have money to burn, basically. Okay,
to play it around and hide it around.
For him to come out and say, "Oh, this is to tax the rich and give to the poor," no, it's to tax the middle class and make him poor. That's the key point.
Interestingly, all the billionaires, majority of billionaires are voting like in big city Democrats, voting for the Democrats, and they're just getting wealthier and wealthier.
Do you think these wealthy people are that dumb to vote for a person that's going to increase their tax? No, they already know what's going on. These
are like a full socialists.
They are called the handlers. This is how handlers work. Okay, this is the main reason everybody hated Trump. Because nobody could control him. He would go ahead and try to work in the benefit of the middle class and get the middle class to upper class and get the poor to the middle class. That was the whole agenda.
Right.
Okay? But when you have these kind of stupid policies come in place, and when you say, "Oh, it's a $1.8 trillion family rebuilding," or whatever the crap you want to call it, what you're doing is you're telling all those people, you are dumb, and I'm going to make you dumber. By giving you a little bit more money just to stay in that stage.
They don't even give you money. I mean, the second and third stimulus we didn't get. Did you get the stimulus?
No.
We didn't get the second and third stimulus.
Look,
we didn't get nothing.
What's going to happen is, look, let's say they allocate
as a family, you get nothing.
Let's say they allocate $5 million for the homeless in LA. By the time that $5 million hits the homeless people area, it's turned into $2 million.
Not even that.
Okay, I'm just being generous at this point. By the time that $5 million hits the people in poverty, it's $2 million.
The homeless,
$3 million goes to the government bullshit
the
spending
homeless, they're lucky if they get a Twinkie out of it.
Right. So, and this is another step towards socialism. Okay, even in socialist countries, the rich never lost their money.
Socialism pretty much is a capitalism for the elite.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
If you look at...
If you think like in a communist country, the elites are ever hungry or in need or they don't have the best of the things,
the top 1%...
Be out of your mind. Socialism is a capitalism for the elite.
I could put it in the best
way.
And
then everybody else is screwed. That's pretty much what
the top 1%, as how we all say it here, the top 1% of the rich or in that rich class will always remain at that top 1%. They will never come down from that 1% category.
You can name it whatever you name it.
Name it whatever the hell you billionaires and the millionaires, as Bernie Sanders would say. You could call them whatever the hell you want.
You think like a Lenin and Stalin, they're living in a shack, eating a loaf of bread?
If you have any sense of...
Or Castro.
If you ever studied any type of economy...
Or Chavez.
Yeah.
They lived in palaces.
But look, if you... Saddam had like 15 palaces, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm not talking about the communist leaders. You know,
Oh, yeah.
Castro's, you know, Chavez.
No, but
you
I
know,
mean, look, any people
China,
within that
Communist Party in
circle,
China.
anybody within that circle
Yeah,
lived like a
yeah,
king.
yeah,
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who the leader was.
Every
Anybody
society
within
is going to be hierarchy. No matter what
exactly
you do,
doesn't
it's
matter
gonna
if
be
you're in a
hierarchy.
kingdom, if you're in a freaking socialist country, if you're in a communist country, does not matter. Does not matter.
The only
The
difference is
elite
just the
will always
middle
stay
class
as
are
the.
screwed in those systems.
What happens is the middle class will get screwed. The poor will stay poor. The rich will stay rich. What the only thing that would happen is the middle class becomes poor. That's all it happens. That's all it's gonna do. It's not gonna make your life any better. It's gonna make your life worse and worse and worse. And if you claim to be an economist, if you think if you are part of a stupid think tank that you know everything in life, why don't you go live in Venezuela as a middle class individual?
I actually extend the olive branch. Venezuela is tough. You know, it's a socialist country, but they said
Go to
this
Cuba.
is not a true socialism. This is not a true
Go to
socialism.
Cuba.
No. I challenge anybody with serious left tendency or they think that they're leftist. Move to Finland. Move to Sweden. Move to Norway. If these are the places that is your utopia, please move. You would be destroyed immediately. Your wealth would be destroyed immediately. Those countries are already open. Why nobody's living there?
Yeah.
You don't have armies of immigrants trying to come to this country. I don't see anybody just rushing over there in the Sweden border and stuff. They try to take people over there. They go over there and they get like a residency or Swedish passport, and then they go someplace else.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not just the climate, right? You go over there, you automatically, if you're some sort of a successful, yeah, if you're hungry, you have nothing to eat, yeah, of course it's going to be good for them. Oh, I have a food to eat. But if you're any person who wants to have success, live a good life on their own, you're going to be paying hefty for it. And that's why you see this like a lunatic Hollywood liberals. None of them, if they are so unhappy, if it's so bad in America, if they keep talking about Scandinavia, it's like Sweden, like Norway, Finland. Finland is giving free citizenship. Nobody's living. Free citizenship. I'm looking everybody in the eye, especially people with the degrees, IT, tech, whatever you name it. If you're a professional, you're a liberal, Finland is giving and actually encouraging people, inviting in their 3 months of spring, summer, whatever they have, the short, before they go back into the total darkness. They come over here, we provide you lodging and stuff, and come and see us. If you like it, then you stay.
Yeah.
I would challenge you, go.
You're not gonna hypocrites.
Go.
Hypocrites.
If you don't, then you're a hypocrite.
Look, anyone
if I
with
would come
any.
and say today, if we come over and say today, every day, if we come and say over here, you know, dude, Madagascar is the best place in the world. Why we are not like Madagascar and stuff like that? And Madagascar is a great place. By the way.
I love the
But
cartoon.
I'm just saying, if you say, oh, Madagascar, this Madagascar, or Djibouti, let's just go some places. Or Madagascar, Djibouti, there's some place. Oh, this is the best place, right? And after 20 years, and I'm still sitting over here, you have a right to tell me a hypocrite. If I'm advertising a system or certain places and say, okay, this is the best, we should be like that, then I have resources and I don't go over there, I don't stand by my own word, then I'm a hypocrite. Mm-hmm. So all this like a lunatic Hollywood, and it's really interesting, every time that the Republican wins, right, when Trump won, all of them, they said, oh, we are going to go to Sweden, we are going to go to Canada, right?
None of them left.
Not a single one of them said that I'm going to go to Mexico. Not a single one. They're the true racist people.
Yeah,
not a single one
exactly.
of them. I go to Mexico,
or
I
Guatemala,
go to Central America, yeah, I go to El Salvador.
Honduras.
Yeah, Trump is elected, so I'm going to go to El Salvador to help those refugees. Or Syria, or whatever.
Or Oman.
So it's...
or Kuwait or Iraq.
But
they didn't mention a single Middle Eastern country,
right,
or a South American country. You racist bastards.
They only mentioned the wealthiest and the widest societies.
They didn't even say Cancun, for God's sake. Like, I would have moved.
No, Cancun is not too white.
You know, I tell you what, man,
I will, wealthiest.
The best place I would think, if I would have escaped, I would go to Aruba. Love Aruba.
No, I'm just saying it's like Finland right now. Go look at it. A lot of countries right now, they try to attract investment and they try to attract smart people. They don't want just bums and people that they haven't made. They just have 250 to 500,000 euros. A lot of European countries, from Cyprus to Turkey to Portugal to Spain, they're taking people.
And guess what?
All these and still people are here. They're not.
And
going.
guess what? All these Scandinavian countries,
because as soon as you get there,
they have the highest tax
you get
brackets.
the highest taxes.
They have the highest tax brackets, okay? Everybody's like, oh my God, Canada is the best. They have healthcare for everybody. Then tell me why people from Canada come to the United States to get health treatment.
If they have serious issues.
If you have freaking cancer, you're going to die before your first
It's
appointment.
like, oh, you pay 30% of your income and you have... the meaning healthcare is like you have to identify what do you mean by healthcare. If your healthcare is involve aspirin or something that you can get from CVS over here, you are an absolute idiot and moron to give like a third of your income in your lifetime
To get aspirin.
to get that to get an aspirin. You can get that or cough drop. You can get that or just basic things. You can get that. And if you have a serious, and I've talked to a lot of friends, if you have any kind of like a serious things, that waiting means dying.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, you would be very unlikely, especially if you're older, which actually that's the time you need the actual healthcare, right?
You're not going to have it.
You are not going to have it.
You're not going to have it.
So by that time, if somebody actually has the resources,
the healthcare system here is the same. The healthcare system here is the same.
It's one of
but
those
a little bit better, but not any great.
It's a socialist leech. It's just a system designed. It's like any other part of it is designed to feed army of bureaucrats and
indoctrination of children, indoctrination of
yeah.
kids or people who go to colleges with with the leftist liberal leaning views and agendas and all this crap. They put everybody in la la land, and when it comes down to reality, when they actually hit the street, they're
mass
like,
psychosis.
What the hell happened? Okay.
Mass psychosis.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in for today's episode.
Hold on to your money. Hold on
to your money, because it's coming.
Because Biden is
coming. Hit that like button, hit the share button, and subscribe to our channel for more content. We love you guys. Thank you for watching our show. We will have some other subjects and much more fun stuff to talk about. But it seems like this crappy policies, they're going to keep continuing coming down our throat, and we're going to keep fighting. So let's hope for a better change, guys.
Stack up the honey.
All right. Hit that share button, guys. See you later.
God bless America.